Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Stargate. This is season 2, episode number 16. This episode is called A Matter of Time. Last episode was the 5th race, and it was genuinely, I think, my favourite episode I've watched of this so far. Loved every single second of it. We went to this planet because we'd realised that after sending some probes through the Stargate, we had seen through a probe writing that matched some of the writing that was on the wall in the repository where Ernest was, that Daniel had been looking into for a long time, it seemed. And it was like, we need to go there to see what's happening. So we went there and there was like just this empty room. And I was really like worried about the circle on the floor because I at first thought it was going to be the rings, like the gold rings. And I was like, oh shit, this might just be like a huge trap. Only for when one of the guys to walk through it, this thing appear on the wall. Teal'c has a little look into it. It just sees darkness and then lights. Yet when Jack looked into it, it grabbed hold of him with like these hands. And we learnt later that not only had it put this ancient language into his head, but it put a whole lot of information in his head about the Stargate network and other things as well. And he was like, kept wanting to build things and was drawing quite a lot. And we realised it didn't do that to Teal'c because he had the ghoul symbiote in his stomach. So that's why it didn't affect him. It went for somebody that wasn't a Jafar or a ghoul. So to see like Jack slowly basically start to shut down, and he would then start saying all of these words, these ancient words, because we learned these people were called the Ancients, and it was like a similar thing with Rome and the roads, and Daniel was saying, well, the roads are the Stargates. So it was like amazing to see, actually. And we saw how like Jack had built this like thing, but we didn't know what it was, and it later turned out that he needed it to boost the energy in the base. And then the Stargate going, and we were like dialing out. And I was like, oh God, what's happening? Because there was like this incoming wormhole, and got to Chevron 7. I'm sat here thinking, right, okay, like what the hell is happening? Like who could this be, or where are we going? And then it didn't lock, and I was like, what the hell is happening? Only to learn that the power boost was so that the information Jack put in the computer, all the new Stargates he knew of that we'd never known of before because they had no link to the Abydos cartouche, was just like, oh God, like what's happening? What is happening? We got the 8th chevron locked. Jack goes through, and then we end up on the home world of the Asgard. And it was one of the most amazing things I think I'd ever watched in ages. Like I genuinely loved every single second of it. I didn't want that episode to end. And like Jack at the end saying to everybody when he was able to come back through after the Asgard had took the information out of his head and basically saved him because his brain was going into overdrive. And he was just like, I think we're going to be all right. And I was just like, I adore this show. I adore this show. So I am excited to watch this one. Let's go. Hello? Oh shit. What guys, what the hell is this? At first I thought, Jesus, I hope it's not a thing about there being a Stargate on the sun. Holy mother of God, what's happening?
Come on! Dial and hold, Captain! That's an order! I'm gonna make it, sir! Make it!
Oh my God.
No!
What's happening?
I know I should know this by now, and I swear it'll be the last time I ask. These wormholes we go through, they're not always there, right?
No, sir. They can only form between 2 open gates.
I love the fact that he's having this in a whispered conversation.
Imagine the galaxy is an apple. We burrow our way through the apple like a worm, crossing from one side to the other instead of going around the outside.
Okay, I'll be all right.
Oh, I like this guy.
We've got an unscheduled incoming traveler.
Closing iris.
What do we got? Don't know, sir. Some kind of signal.
There's a repeating pattern. Lieutenant, play it through the computer again and run it a lot faster.
Computer now recognizes the signal as SG-10's iris code.
That's Henry Boyd's team.
Why would their code be coming through so slow?
Yeah.
I have no idea, sir, but if we don't open the iris...
The next thud we hear
Is a
Henry
person?
Boyd's team.
Because we don't know what was chasing them.
Come on, Hank. Doors open.
What happened?
I don't know, sir.
SG-10 was on a routine exploratory mission of P3W451.
It's a binary system. We just discovered it.
Let's Talon!
Were there any indications of enemy attack?
None. One thing Major Boyd's team reported was that whatever indigenous life there may have been on 451 recently became extinct. They were trying to determine the cause.
Oh, it was very sandy. I hope they weren't
In the
walking
event
on
I
people.
authorize this mission, SG-3 will back you up.
In the event, sir. Chevron 3 encoded.
Let's just see what pictures the probe sends back.
Look at that, people.
Yes, sir.
God, what the hell are we going to see? Oh, you don't see a lot of this side of things. I like it a lot.
I don't understand. It's just red.
There is an image here.
Infrared?
Input the video feed into the computer, but compensate for a longer light wavelength. It's possible that the image we're receiving from the probe has red shifted, distorted toward the infrared end of the spectrum.
Why?
The same reason their codes came through so slowly.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever that is.
It's working.
A matter of time? Is it like a time distortion? Is that the issue here?
What the hell's going on, Hank?
Do something pursuing them.
See if you can play back the video transmission in real time. We need to find out.
This is all we've received so far, sir. 11 frames of digital picture in the last 6 minutes.
That represents a fraction of a second.
Perhaps a malfunction.
No, the picture tells us everything we need to know. That team is in trouble.
Yeah, but if we go through the same will
Probably
happen to
under
us.
attack. Permission to go in, sir.
I'm sorry, Colonel. With all due respect, but if I'm right, we can't help them.
What am I looking at?
That's a black hole, sir.
Yes.
Newly formed one by the looks of it.
Why don't they just gate out of there?
They're trying to, sir. But the closer you get to a black hole,
Time slows down.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do to save them.
They've had it, sir.
Disengage the Stargate.
Oh, God.
by some fluke of Stargate technology, we are witnessing something that the laws of physics say we can't possibly witness.
We are witnessing good men die in slow motion, Captain.
You're right, sir.
She's just excited about the science. Oh.
Shut it down.
Sir, it won't disengage.
How long have you been out of contact with this facility?
Coming up 4 hours ago, sir. But it was funky for a while before that.
What's Teal'c doing?
Why in God's name is it doing that?
I have no idea, sir.
It started just after you got online with the president, sir.
I won't be gone long. In the meantime,
Understood, sir. Carter, what would happen if we just pulled the plug?
Main breaker.
It'll overload.
We gotta do it. Colonel, pull the main breaker.
3, 2, 1.
There'll be a backup generator though, won't they?
Stargate.
What's she doing? Oh shit.
Lieutenant, close the iris!
It's an outgoing wormhole. Nothing can come through this way.
Close it!
Except for the black hole's gravity. Now close it. That's an order.
Freeze! Up against the wall! Move! Tags!
Dr. Frazier.
Yeah, and who the hell are you? Put that down!
Colonel Frank Cromwell, Air Force Special Operations. 5 hours ago, all contact was lost to this facility. I am here to find out why.
Took the liberty of closing the iris, sir.
Captain Carter, Colonel Cromwell, he's come to rescue us. I wouldn't count on it.
Captain Carter,
What do you got, Lieutenant?
the field is expanding.
His voice, man.
I'm reading over 7 Gs at the iris.
I have to contact the Pentagon and try to find a solution before the gravity field extends beyond the gate room.
I just came from there myself, Captain.
That was quick.
Colonel Cromwell, I believe.
General Hammond.
You just came from Washington, sir?
There and back again. I've been gone nearly 18 hours. I'm ordering the complete evacuation of the SGC effective as of right now. I'll need 2 volunteers to stay behind in order to give our personnel a head start.
Computer needs your authorization code before it'll accept the command. Go ahead and enter it.
Jesus.
Maybe now you know how it feels.
We do use a bomb, but we focus the energy of the blast. When Colonel O'Neill and I were sent to the Antarctic Gate, it was because we were under enemy fire.
It caused an energy surge.
Yes, and that surge caused the wormhole to jump from one destination to another.
So we just need to do that. How do we do that?
If we can channel enough energy in the direction of our Stargate, it should cut the connection to the black hole and cause the matter stream to jump to any gate along the way.
Leaving our Stargate connected to some other world.
Yes, sir, but then all we have to do is shut it down.
I was sick to my stomach when I found out you were still alive. I wanted to go back for you.
Why don't we just do this and get the hell out of here, all right?
What?
Somebody dropped a dime on the incursion. You got hit. You went down. I made a judgment call to save the rest of the team.
And I saw you take off. And then I saw 4 months of my life disappear in some stinking Iraqi prison.
I thought you were dead.
You thought wrong!
Don't activate the auto-destruct, sir. It won't work. I have another idea.
Shit.
They appear to be moving very slowly.
Only from our perspective.
Captain.
Oh. Oh, I like this effect. It's really cool.
Set the timer, 20 seconds.
You won't make it out!
20 seconds. Set. Do it. Gotcha. Get up there and arm that damn bomb. I got you. Climb. Arm that damn bomb. Climb.
Oh. Oh, nice cut.
Hey, Jack, did I miss anything? I made it.
We all made it, thanks to you and Captain Carter.
And Cromwell.
A new trinium-strengthened iris is being installed right now. We should be back in business in no time.
After last episode, this was so different, but I enjoyed every second of it. It was quite tense to watch it, actually. Like, seeing those guys at the start on the planet, the team, and, like, seeing them running from something, and I was like, oh, Jesus, what's, like, wrong here? Because, like, they were moving so slowly, and, like, their voices were really distorted, and, like, we saw at the start as well, like, this thing in the sky, and at first, because we saw the sun, I thought, oh, is that going to be our sun? Is it going to be a sun, another planet, like a different star? But like, to know it was an SGC team, and basically when they tried to dial through, it was only for like a short while and then nobody came through, and then like we had like this signal that we basically had to decode because of the wavelengths it was on, and when the malp went through and the images and everything, and it was like the issues with the infrared, I was like, what's going on here? Like, this is really intriguing. And then obviously learning that this black hole had affected this planet that this team had gone to, it being their first time out as a team as well, was an absolute, bloody hell, imagine that. Like, I think they probably died, actually, because obviously they weren't talked about again. So I'm assuming we couldn't save them, unfortunately. But, like, to see, like, we had to go through trying to figure out what to do. And I was, like, just, like, at first, like, close the iris because you never know what's going to happen. And it took them a while to figure out that, oh, actually, maybe we need to close the iris. Like, when Sam dangled her tags in front of the wormhole, and like Hammond saying I'm going to go topside or go up a few levels anyway, for like hours and days to have passed, and time moving differently each time. I adored it, but seeing like, like the control room start to slowly break up because of the gravity of the wormhole, so we saw the glass in the windows go in, we saw the iris eventually went. this team got sent in to go and try and figure out if there'd been some kind of alien incursion down there, and they had to figure out, what to do. And with it being, with Cromwell being played by the guy who played Talon, I was like, this is going to be really cool. And like, there was obviously like this friction between him and Jack, and I was thinking something has happened in their past, because even he said like, we used to be friends. To learn that obviously when Jack was obviously fighting away, he'd clearly been captured, I guess, and kept in a prison. And I think he said Iraq. And to know that, he was left behind by Cromwell and the rest of his team because they thought he was dead was a little interesting bit of info into Jack's past, actually, because we don't actually really know that much about Jack's kind of military past. We know a lot about his personal past and like what happened with his wife and his son. But military wise, like that's maybe one of the few things we've learned about him, and like them then being told to like basically destroy the gate because that's how they thought they would be able to stop it. Sam and Teal'c trying to find out another way because Sam didn't think that was the correct way to do it, and it would have no effect, and the time dilation would just keep happening, and within 6 months the state of Colorado would be gone. For her then to go back down there and be like, I've got this other thing we can do. We've got this bomb and we can reroute it and rewire it so that the explosion knocks the wormhole like they got knocked to Antarctica, and it'll go, look like what's happened, it'll go to another planet. And I was just thinking, Jesus, well, hopefully they know a planet that's been abandoned or is empty, there's nothing there, because they could have just condemned other people to death by doing that. So it finally obviously went to another one, and I did think at some point Cromwell's probably not going to make it, but I thought it would be when they did the self-destruct and when they were trying to get out of there, and he'd maybe stay behind so Jack could get out. But to see him like get sucked in through the gate into the black hole was actually quite sad, because Jack's probably going to feel like really guilty about that now, because obviously the whole left behind thing. But genuinely, I thought this was a brilliant little episode. It was a nice little surprise because I adored last episode. This one was so different, but just as brilliant, I think. But honestly, I absolutely adore watching this. It's probably one of my favourite things that I'm watching, actually. And it's just completely suckered me straight into it. Bit like a black hole. So I'm going to go watch the next one, and I will see you guys later. So thank you.